Hello, hello, hello. Walter Beasley here. Just taking a minute to talk to the musicians for a quick second. There's this, not a theory, I don't know what you'd call it, but it's called the funnel syndrome, where in business, I heard about it in business, but it's like where all your efforts are kind of centered around one particular thing, and you funnel all your energies into one thing, and if it doesn't work, then you got a problem. Well, musicians need to be very careful about gearing everything towards touring. I love touring. I love playing in front of people. That's not the issue. The issue is if you have to spend your time touring to pay the bills that you have, that's a recipe for disaster. You're not always going to be able to run around and do what you do. So you need something that would offset, not even offset, that's not the right word, but something that would bring in passive income so you wouldn't have to tour and you can tour when you want to tour. When I first started out, I remember a person telling me, Walt, when you make these records, you're not really going to make that much money on the records. You're going to make your money touring. I always thought that was the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life. And it's the dumbest thing to ever tell somebody. But it was kind of true, at the time, because the way the record companies structured the businesses, the contracts and all that, they made all the money. And, you don't make your money until you go on the road. Well, a lot of that is still happening today. You have people who take a lot of money for getting people's records played here and get, records played there, being able to make it up the charts and so on and so forth. But you don't really get much in return for all that. You have to keep doing it, And not only that, for people who are signed to record companies, they keep the majority of the money from the sales because they use that money to market you in that way. So they pay for all that, but actually you do. It's the same game. I would really advise people who are in this game, instrumentalists and so on and so forth, to really concentrate on content, concentrate on knowing what you do so well that you can teach it. Making sure that you don't fall into that funnel type of thing. I mean, it's not really a funnel syndrome. It's called, maybe it is. It was a long time ago when I learned it. But to put all your eggs in one basket, that's a better use of term, is not a great approach to enjoying the music game, and it is a game, So the road is great, meeting people, playing in front of people, it's great. But to have to do it every week to sustain your life or to sustain your bill, just to pay your bill. And here's the thing too, how are you going to enjoy touring, or how are you going to enjoy your life outside of touring if you have to tour to have a life? You know what I mean? So you can't enjoy the things that touring pays for because you're out on the road paying for them. Not that that's a bad thing, it's a blessing to be able to do that. But it's also a blessing to be able to have different things coming in, passive income, so you don't have to really worry about it. That's why I'm, proponent of Bitcoin and stuff like that, because it actually gives you more value for your time than anything else in the universe at this point. And I'm not going to get on the Bitcoin tip, don't worry, because a lot of people don't like it. But the fact of the matter is, whatever it is, whatever you choose to do, you have to have a couple of. There's a great book called Multiple Streams of Income that I read years ago, decades ago, that really talks about this very well, actually. So I'm not going to belabor it, but I need musicians, especially young musicians, you need to start thinking about this because this shit is drying up. I don't know if you've noticed, but you got 2 or 3 agencies controlling everything now, especially the instrumental world. So everything is kind of getting consolidated, and that's not good for music, and it's not good for musicians. So you really need to buck against this kind of control game that people are playing with you now about. Well, in order to get in this club, you have to sign with me, and there are ways around that, but you have to really start thinking 5 years ahead. What are you going to look like, in 5 years? What will what will you have in 5 years, and how will you pay for it? Start thinking about that now. Touring is great, but it's one-dimensional. It's only one aspect of the game, and though it looks it is. It's, you don't want to get addicted to it, because as you get older, and you need it more and more to pay your bills, you're going to appreciate it less and less, because you're not going to be able to be home to enjoy the fruits of your labor. All right, take care.